Okay? Do you remember yes no question? Example, do you, or does he, alright? Before, we must use question words. Example, what? What do you? What does she? After that, where? Simple form verb. What do you like? What does she like? Okay? And after, where? Where do you live? Or where does he live? When? Or what time? Say, right? When do you go to school? Or when does he go to school? Okay? Why? Why do you? Why does he? Why do you like your job? Why does he like his job? Some question for important. Do you? Does he? Okay. Some question words. How do you answer? For example, positive form. Yes. I like football. Okay. If you want to ask, what do you like? For what answer football? What do you like? Football. What? Football. What answer? Football. Okay? And I live in London. In London. If you want to learn answer, where? Where do you live? Where? For where answer, in London. Where do you live? In London. I live in London. Okay? Here. I work in a company. In a company. Where? Where do you work? Answer, short answer, in a company. Or long answer, I work in a company. Where? Answer, in a company. I go to school at 9, right? When do you go to school? Yeah. When? We'll learn about time. Or what time? What time? What time? Look, do you go to school? At 9. At 9. Answer when or the what time? We'll give a time. At time. At 9. At 10. Alright? Thank you. Let's come to some question words. Put here an example, okay? Why do you learn English? Except about why, we must give answer because, right? Because. Why? Because it is international language, or because I want to live in London. Okay, why? Answer with because. Okay. Also, near what we can use some noun, right? What language? What languages do you speak? Do you speak? I speak English and Russian. What languages? I speak English and Russian. Okay? And how do you go to school? We ask about transportation. Transport. We must give answer, short answer. Look here. I go to school. Must use by. For transport, we must use by. But that means with. I go to school by bus, by car, by taxi, right? By train, by metro. Okay, here. Or for a walk. I go to school for a walk. I don't use bus, car, taxi, train, metro, or all the transport, right? We use walk with foot for a walk. By, that means with. I go to school by bus, by car, by taxi, by train, by metro, or by plane. Right? Thank you. Some question words we will have learned half. Now we will learn how an adjective. An example, how. How much do you have for lunch? Okay, answer money, right? 1,000 tenge, Kazakh money, okay? Or $5 or 5 pounds, right? But money, how much? And how many? Look, how many children do you have? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Okay, answer. I have 2 children. Right, here 1 son, right? 1 daughter. How many? How many sisters do you have? Only one. How many brothers do you have? I have 2 brothers. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4 or more.
Where does he live? Where does he live?
He lives in the USA. He lives in the USA.
What does he do? What's his job? What does he do?
He's an engineer. He's an engineer.
Would you like some coffee, James?
Yes, please.
Coffee, Kate? No thanks, Mum. I don't drink coffee in the evening.
Do you live here, Kate?
No, James, they don't live here.
We live in Oxford.
Ah. What do you do?
I'm a teacher.
Do you have any children?
Yes, a boy and a girl.
Are you their teacher?
No, they don't go to school. My son's 4 and my daughter's 2.
Ah, I see. And what does John do?
He works for the Bank of England.
In Oxford?
No, we live in Oxford and I work in Oxford, but he works in London.
Ah.
Would you like a chocolate, James?
Thank you.
Mom, what's that? That's a cat. What's his name? Felix. Where does he live? He lives in the garden. Mum, who's that? His sister, Kitty. Where does she? She lives in the kitchen. Felix lives in the garden. Kitty lives in the kitchen. Mum? Yes. What do they do? What do they do? Yes. They eat